Hello, I'm here to glaze chapter 15 a bit. I've been playing through it today, and while I was going through the challenge mode of the challenge mode of the challenge mode of 15.8, I'll explain that in another video, I realized that the mechanic of the chapter does something really rare and unique. Normally you have people who want a more casual event and people who like it harder, and obviously you can't balance the event for everyone, so we end up somewhere in the middle most of the time, depending on how the mechanic was in the event. This event kind of manages to be both easy and hard at the same time. Let me show you what I mean. So obviously I'm playing with 4 stars, as low as possible, the usual stuff for me. And we have this caster spawned right at the start. It has a skill that prevents you from generating DP naturally for a few seconds, that it only uses once. The caster itself is insanely tanky and has somewhere around 2000 defense, so most of my operators can't harm it. You can see this hand going around placing enemies down on the field. Now, you may recognize that hand if you've ever played the tutorial, but that's spoilery stuff that I'm not really interested in. Anyhow, that hand can drop enemies around, and it can activate devices and whatnot. It can drop enemies wherever it wants. Whether it's a melee tile or a range tile, it can do what it wants. But if it drops the enemy on a deployable tile, you can block it with your own operator. When you do that, it doesn't spawn anything. So, since it can spawn the big casters, when you block that caster, you get more DP for it, and you remove a tanky enemy. If they're dropped on range tiles, they don't go to the blue box, and you can just ignore them. If you're curious about the device in the middle of the screen, it reduces defense and res by 50%. If you press it and it turns blue, it does it to enemies. If the hand presses it, it turns red and does it to your operators instead. Since the caster has a million defense, Estelle can't kill it, and that's why acid drop is here. The things that look like vending machines spawn trash mobs, which is why Estelle can stay alive, despite taking a ton of damage from the casters and the vending machines. And you can see the hand carrying casters around. Now, if I was playing with a full squad, I wouldn't have to deal with this. I could simply block the casters from being dropped, and that would be that. I just use a summon, an operator, block the field, and then I have a ton more DP. But now, because of it, I only have 10 more DP until the end of the stage. I won't ever get any DP generation again, because the hand keeps summoning casters over and over. And they don't just disappear, they just stay there and DPS. Tons of problems that could be blocked if I had more operators. It makes it harder when I'm limiting myself, but otherwise the stage is quite straightforward. Since I need 10 DP to activate the thing on the ground, so Estelle can kill the vending machines, there was only one thing I could do. I had to retreat acid drop, so I can have enough DP to do that, and deploy some tentacles to guard Estelle from the casters. You can see Deep Cover is dying at the top, because I'm starting to run out of tentacles, and the Pikachu thing we're fighting dies just in time. Fun mechanic. I'm gonna do a few more videos in chapter 15, since I quite enjoyed the stages so far.